The guy who was giving the BJ was doing it in exchange for a half-eaten chicken biscuit from Chick-fil-A. School administrators and teachers have read it. What is your weirdest or NSFW thing you've caught a student doing? Not a teacher, but when I was a sophomore in high school, this kid in my history class kept asking the teacher to go to the bathroom. She said yes, but the kid wanted to bring his book bag with him. She asked him why, and he wouldn't give an answer. So she told him to put it back. Kid gives up on going to the bathroom and just sits down. Teacher looked suspicious but let it go. Few minutes later, kid is looking into his book bag and moving things around, trying to not be noticed, but literally everyone did. Teacher yells at him for acting weird and asks him what's in his bag. He refused to answer, but I think everyone thought he was hiding drugs. Teacher calls the school officer down to the class and the kid freaks out. Tried to leave the room, won't give up his backpack, yelling and cursing. Finally, school officer gets the bag from the kid, opens it, and finds a stack of porno mags. Kid was trying to leave class to beat his meat. Our high school head teacher walked into our form room during break and found one of my classmates lying on a desk with her shirt pulled up, while another was standing over with a sewing needle, about to attempt to give her a belly button piercing. They tried to pass it off as a tickle fight, but wound up in detention anyway. Not a teacher, but this dude in my grade was caught by a teacher eating his girlfriend out in the hallway during class. Which sounds cool, but they were both kinda gross. Eating strips of neon pink paper to see if it had a different flavor than white paper, freshman in high school. Sucking pepperoni slices to get the protein out, the white spots of fat, senior in high school. Shoving Oreos up their butt in the boys' bathroom. I didn't catch them, they admitted it to me. Seniors in high school, buying clean urine from a homeless in a water bottle and using it for a drug test in the boys' bathroom. Sophomore in high school. Shirt on, pants down around ankles, washing his genitals in the sink of the male restrooms, at a campground on a school-wide camping trip, parent chaperone. I taught Sunday school when I was 15-16 to earn the good boy points, so people didn't look too closely at my unchristian personal life. I once caught a kid, maybe 6 or 7, eating a Bible, literally tearing out pages and eating it. There were several pages missing, and the only page I found was the one he was working on when I caught it. Not that I really expected a reasonable explanation, but we never made it past I dunno when I tried to figure out why he was eating a book. A student of mine shit herself in class. I felt so bad for her. She immediately ran out, and after everyone had the smell hit them, we all put it together. Got her before she walked back in and just told her to go to the nurse, obviously one-on-one where no one could hear. But Duckett smelled so bad and it ducking lingered. I have a few friends that went to a different high school, and they told me of 2 boys were caught giving each other blowjobs in some area of the school. This was last year, and I don't remember where they got caught. The real kicker was that neither of them were gay, and the guy who was giving the blowjob was doing it in exchange for a half-eaten chicken biscuit from Chick-fil-A and a container of dip. Needless to say, it was a big topic in my town at the time. Well, I teach adults and I teach writing. Erotica is one of the topics we cover. So, having one of my students send me her Pokemon erotic fanfic and having to read through it. It wasn't bad though. Good Shrek scenes. When I was ATA, I found a freshman high schooler drawing furry porn on a school computer. Later in college, I had to sit behind another girl who always drew furry porn during our morning lectures. Not at school, but with people from my class. Last year of middle school equivalent. We were all 14 or 15. Some guys ducked this girl. 5 guys went to her house after school, got into a line and ducked her. The next day, her parents showed up to school with a list of the guys asking for them so they could clear things up. I was close to one of them. At first I doubted it was true, but the level of detail and how all of them told the same story made me believe it was true. Caught a group of 4th graders, boys and girls, performing Shrek's acts on each other in the bathroom during recess. They weren't have intercourse, but the girls were touching the genitals of the boys, so we could only assume it was gonna escalate. Not exactly what you're asking, but similar. Back in my freshman biology class, there was a couple, K and B. Everyone knew they were an item, even the teachers. They even sat next to each other and did their projects together. Sort of like a power couple. Really cool kids. One day, our teacher stopped the presentation in a horror when she saw them sitting next to each other while taking notes and freaked out a bit. She walked over and saw that K and B were just sitting in their seats, holding hands. She breathed a sigh of relief as she said, "Oh good, I thought you were sitting on K's lap, B." "Yeah, you can't do that." All of us laughed. I'm pretty sure one of my students had a hand in his pocket and was rubbing one out during the middle of class. Nobody noticed, but it sure made me give him a double take. Teacher here, I have had students who have eaten boogers in front of their classmates and teachers. Student who shit himself during class. Student who took off his pants in front of the rest of the class. Students who thought it would be fun to fart on candle flame in hope that it would result in explosions. I would like to add that all these situations took place at high school. Not admin, but here we go. And hold on to your horses. This is a wild one. And before you comment that it's fake, I can assure you it's not. When I was around 13, I had a thing where instead of a fight or flight response, I would just freeze up. I have a fight response now. I was in after-school care as I was young, and my parents would work till like 6 p.m. School ended at 3 p.m. I went to the bathroom and an ex-friend of mine followed too. I do not remember his age, but he was around 10 or so. We are both males. This is important. I go to a urinal and he goes to the one next to me. I thought nothing of it as we were friends. We both finish up then. He then asks me how big was my dick. I immediately got uncomfortable and started trying to separate myself. He follows me, then pins me up to the wall. This kid may have been 10, but he could throw a powerful punch, and I was a weak kid, so I froze instantly. He grabs my dick and starts jerking me off, getting hard in the process, rubbing his dick up against my leg. He gets close to finishing, and that's when I bolted. I got to a teacher and told them what happened. They didn't believe me. I ended up switching schools as he kept trying to pull the same stunt over and over again. No, a teacher, but back in high school, we had a girl make a solo porn film for a guy she wanted to get with. She sent it to him. He sent it to friends. Then they sent it to friends. Then they sent it to friends. On and on it went the following week. Everyone in our year had seen it. She had to be taken out of classes and her parents called in because everyone was watching it. We also had another girl cover her genitals in peanut butter and let her dog lick it off. She was super gross. I've never had peanut butter since. One year in high school, a couple of girls put used tampons in the locker of another girl they were trying to get back at, and they did it on the last day of class before a long weekend. It smelled to high heaven when school resumed. Also, it wasn't hard to break into lockers at my school. In middle school, a couple of girls got busted giving piercings in the bathroom. They were using a sewing pin and rubbing alcohol, so it certainly could have been a lot worse. A guy in high school got busted for smoking weed in the football locker room across campus on the last day of school. He ended up getting expelled and missed his senior season of football. There were concession stands inside part of my high school for athletic events and stuff in the auditorium. Some kids figured out that they could get into the concession stand by going through the drop ceiling in the bathroom right next to it, then over the wall. In kindergarten, a girl went into the bathroom and taped her eyelids shut with packing tape, then stumbled back into the classroom, screaming in a panic that it hurt too much to take the tape back off. I was sitting in my classroom during recess, since I never enjoyed the teacher's lounge full of old, boring, given-up attitude teachers there, not to mention they were rats who only cared about themselves first and no one else second, when I heard my 7th graders outside my door talking casual, about having Shreks with each other, like ridiculously casual. He stuck it in me and that was it. I gave him head and he came in like 2 seconds. We did it without protection. He wanted my ass, so I said yes. Pretty nasty shit, and some of it much worse, coming from 13-year-olds. Student here. In sophomore year, 2 classmates I didn't know well were in the cafeteria. It was the skater dude everyone hung out with and his very obnoxious girlfriend. Anyways, for some reason they were dared to have the girlfriend suck his dick in the cafeteria. Being stupid teenagers, they carried out with the blowjob. But the thing is, she kept the cum in her mouth, and while someone told a joke, she almost spit it out on her tablet mates to laugh. I'm not a teacher, but rather a prefect. I've somehow heard a report of this group of 5 males, freshmen, who cummed inside their classmates' bag. What's hilarious is that their class is legit right next to the school office, though I think this happened after school hours. I don't know if actions were taken, but boy, I wish there were. I entered my classroom almost an hour earlier than usual and found one male and one female student inside. He was laying on the floor and she was standing in front too of him, taking off her bra. She immediately fixed it and tried to put her shirt on and storm out of the classroom. As they didn't actually do anything, I just lecture them on not doing it on school grounds. A colleague noticed a number of boys 13 years going to the bathroom one after the other and giggling on their return. Upon investigation, it transpired that the first one had taken a dump on the lid of the toilet seat and was sending his mates in to admire. He had no explanation for it and, no, he didn't have special needs, was in fact very smart. This still holds the record of the weirdest what the duck story in the staff room. Not a teacher, but in one of my history classes in high school, this kid started gripping and ripping in class because we were watching a movie and the lights were low. The worst part was that the video we were watching was about the Holocaust and had a few clips where naked people were being moved around in lines. A few people noticed and it was too awkward to say anything. One kid filmed it and sent it out. It didn't spread like wildfire, but it spread enough that the kid had a pretty tough time the rest of his high school career.